there aren't many willing to confront that kind of power.
Hey, James.
Hello, how are you?
I'm excited.
Good.
Thank you.
Guerrilla journalist James O'Keefe is one of them. The unconventional founder of Project Veritas is no stranger to controversy, this time making waves in the icy waters off the coast of Connecticut, where we headed out to sea on his much-loved and cared-for sailboat he named the Lucky Charm II, a title handed down from its sunken predecessor and stolen years before from a breakfast cereal.
At the dining halls here, Buckers serve Lucky Charms. And we think that this promotes negative stereotypes.
The leprechaun stayed, but O'Keefe had found his calling.
It's very peaceful, you know.
It's very peaceful.
The cool thing here is that there's no waves today.
Nothing.
He doesn't get much peace, hated by many journalists and those who see him as a threat. Like the community advocacy group Acorn, which didn't survive his first big undercover sting in 2009.
They don't get a social security number, even for working.
Well, they're like 15.
Oh, well, then you don't worry about it.
Ever since, he's been racking up as many enemies as stories. This investigation that stopped Antifa's plans to shut down President Donald Trump's inaugural ball in 2017.
If you had a freaking pint of butyric acid, I don't care how big the building is, it's closing it.
All three pled guilty.
Wherever Trump and Pence are going to be, we have a bench.
This one also stung. Democrat operatives in 2016 caught in stunning admissions few journalists get to hear, describing the dirty tricks they used to paint Trump supporters as violent.
We're starting anarchy here now.
And how they deceive the public by staging people at Trump events to rabble-rouse, start fights, or play victim.
We have mentally ill people that we pay to do shit.
Making sure it's captured.
We're not going to go to an effort to just do an event and not have anybody show up or not have it covered.
And no one knows who's really behind it.
There's a double blind there. Since they can plausibly deny that they knew anything about it.
That was the end of Scott Fogle and Bob Kramer, who's still suing Project Veritas for damages.
Conservative group Project Veritas exposed for trying to entrap the Washington Post.
After more than a decade, O'Keefe has racked up achievements, lawsuits, and failures, and bears the battle scars of incarceration, probation, and scorn.
Now when you tell people that principles aren't free and you have to be willing to pay a price to stand up for them, you're speaking as someone who's done that.
And Rush Limbaugh said this publicly. I met with him once and he said to me, the hardest part about this job psychologically is to be hated.
Without Project Veritas, both insiders said they probably wouldn't have come forward. On February 11th, Project Veritas was permanently banned from Twitter. When you have information dominance, it's easy to push false narratives and suppress real ones, like O'Keefe's journey from skinny Irish kid.
Hey, what a great job. Somebody said he's controversial. He's not controversial, he's truthful.
To presidential stamp of approval. It's that tough Irish stock forged in blood and ashes that he's taken into the ring for a fight with the Grey Lady.
The New York Times also admits that it didn't reach out to Mr. Jamal, who was one of our...
is suing for defamation over this story about alleged ballot harvesting in Minnesota during the last election. He won the first round when the judge denied the New York Times motion to dismiss. Unsurprisingly, the Times is appealing, but already had to make what some would call startling admissions for the paper of record. It didn't contact any of Veritas's on-the-record sources for comment, including one cited more than 10 times, and incorrectly reported Minnesota's ban on ballot harvesting was suspended. It wasn't. Most journalists failed to mention, since starting Project Veritas, he's won 7, lost none.
There's only one truth, James.
There's just reality. You can't change reality.
You can't change the truth either, right? It's real or it's not real.
That's right.